Hello, St. Andrew School 8th Standard students. Welcome to our brand new session of learning through online classes. Here we have a honeydew textbook NCERT English for class 8th. Let's the first lesson we have in the first lesson we have in the textbook, that is the best Christmas present in the world. No one wants the war. Nobody likes to fight in the war. But if two nations sit together and find a solution instead of fighting to each other, then it would save many lives and families. And that's exactly reflects the story, that is the best Christmas present in the world. But before I tell you more about it, let me introduce the author Michael Morpurgo. The author name is Michael Morpurgo. Here, Michael Morpurgo is an English book author and a poet, playwright, and lyricist. His best writing children's novel War Horse. Here it is a backdrop of World War One. Before we get into the lesson, let me read out. There are some dates or periods of time in the history of the world that are so significant and that everyone knows and remembers them. The story you will read mentions one such date and event, a war between the British and the Germans in 1914. Yes, let's read out the lesson. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport, a roll top desk. The man said it was early 19th century and oak. I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in a bad condition. The roll top in several pieces sighed it was going for very little one. Several pieces, one leg clumsily mended, scotch marks all down one side. It was going for very little money. I thought I would restore it. It would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. I began work on it on Christmas Eve. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Looked like water damage to me. Both fire and water is clearly taken their toll on this desk. The last drawer was struck fast. I tried all I could to ease it out gently in the and I used the brute force. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist, and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath, a secret drawer. There was something in there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box, sellotaped to the top of it was a piece of lined notepaper and written on it in a shaky handwriting, Jim's last letter, received January 25th, 1915, to be buried with me when the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box, but curiosity got the better of my scruples. It usually does. Inside the box there was an envelope. The address read Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. Yes, children, you can see here the picture of the author, the Michael. His name is Michael Morpurgo. Here, Morpurgo has a junk shop. He went to a junk shop he went to a junk shop in Bridport, and there he find a roll top desk. There it belongs to the 19th century, which is made of oak. Oak is nothing but the name of the wood, and here he wanted one, means he wanted one oak or one table or round desk table, which he wanted one of it. There it was very expensive. Expensive is to cost. This was it is this roll top desk was in a bad condition, but still he wanted it, and he bought it to his place, where at the back of the house he kept in a garage and start repairing it. There, when he start repairing it, he can see that the table, one side of the table was totally burned, and there he find the drawers were struck. When he started opening that, but it was totally watered and it was struck at the time, and he saw a last one wanted to pull it out with a hard work. After a hard work, he started opening it. At last, he found a letter inside the drawer. That is, there he can see the envelope where it is lined note paper written on with a shaking hands handwriting. That is Jim's last letter. The letter who returned his name is Jim, and it was received on January 25th, 1915, and he wrote it that this letter must be buried after his death. But as soon when he saw the letter, he has a curiosity to open it and wanted to read it. Inside the box there was an envelope, and the address written is that Mrs. Jim Macpherson. Here the letter written by Jim and written to his wife Mrs. Jim Macpherson. Actually, when we go into the lesson, there we come to know what is the name of Mrs. Jim Macpherson. And here the address is 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. So here the author took out the letter and wanted to read it, but it was written with a pencil and dated at the top December 26th, 1914. Yes, children, isn't it always exciting to find a secret? It is always a sense to discover mystery. Yes, here the author has a mystery to discover, and he wanted to know what is written in the letter. So let's go through the lesson for the next session, next class, part 2, written by Jim to his wife Connie. Read out the lesson and also underline the words which you don't know the meanings, and send to my number.